Last night, fittingly, the schedule included an appearance by a singer called Billie Eilish. Eilish is a very talented performer. She's also very young, so we don't want to be cruel here. But the first thing you notice about Billie Eilish is that she's very unhappy. She works in the music business. Maybe it's not surprising. But whatever she's got going on in her personal life, you don't want to be part of it. And who knows what it's really about? She probably doesn't know. Most of us don't really understand what ails us. But for the purposes of last night's event, it doesn't matter. Like almost everybody in the Democratic Party, Billie Eilish has decided that Donald Trump is her core problem.
You don't need me to tell you things are a mess. Donald Trump is destroying our country and everything we care about. We need leaders who will solve problems like climate change and COVID, not deny them. Leaders who will fight against systemic racism and inequality. It starts with voting against Donald Trump and for Joe Biden. We all have to vote like our lives and the world depend on it, because they do.
Donald Trump is destroying everything we care about, period.
I wish Donald Trump knew how to be a president, because America needs a president right now. Remember back in 2016 when Trump asked, "What do you have to lose?" Well, now we know. Our health care, our jobs, our loved ones, our leadership in the world, and even our post office. Don't forget, Joe and Kamala can win by 3 million votes and still lose. Take it from me. So we need numbers overwhelming, so Trump can't sneak or steal his way to victory.
See? Trump stole it, along with the mailboxes and the payphones. Of course he did. Donald Trump is such a bad person that the true scope of his diabolical awfulness is hard to describe. Maybe impossible to describe, like the concept of infinity. And in fact, maybe it's better not even to try to describe it. It's like when your grandmother got sick. No one wanted to say exactly what it was. The disease was too scary. Trump is that bad. The good news is, compared to Donald Trump, everybody else looks good. Even the worst people, maybe especially the worst people. And that's the beauty of it.
So I think we need to ask ourselves, why don't they want us to vote? Why is there so much effort to silence our voices? And the answer is because when we vote, things change. When we vote, things get better.
Oh, there it is right there. That's the line of the night. When we vote, things get better. Vote for us and things will get better. She's not telling you how they're going to get better. Why would she? Just vote. Put us in power and your life will instantly improve. That's the promise they're making. It's also the promise they've been making for decades. And for decades, people have believed them. Democrats now control nearly every major population center in this country. So the question is, how are those places doing? Have things gotten better in, say, Chicago or Detroit or Baltimore or Gary or Birmingham, or name the city? We're not going to answer that. We're going to leave the reporting on that to you. Just Google the name of any major American city and see how life is looking for the people who live in those places right now. They did what they were told. They voted the way Kamala Harris wanted them to vote. Did life improve? That is a fair question. It's the basic question. It may be the only question that matters. Democrats hate it when you ask. When you press them, they'll let you know that, and this may come as a shock, Donald Trump is destroying things in places they've controlled for generations. Bill de Blasio just said that the other day. And then they changed the subject. They're on to something else. Nor have they mentioned what's happening in California right now, our biggest state, Kamala Harris's home state. They're rolling blackouts. We need a Green New Deal, the Democrats tell you. Okay, what will that look like? Well, there is one state in the union that is closer to a Green New Deal than any other. It's California. And thanks to its green energy policy, California is now suffering historic power outages in the middle of a heat wave. By the way, that can kill people. For another thing, it's not a first world situation. We're supposed to have electricity. And when our biggest state doesn't, it tells you there's been massive and profound, possibly criminal mismanagement. Who did that and why? Shouldn't we be interested in finding out? No mention of it last night.
Well, we've been without power 60 plus hours since Friday night.
Inside Carl Whitley's home, at least half a dozen medical devices that need power. All of them help to keep his son alive. During other power outages, he would get advance notice from PG&E, but not this weekend.
This particular outage, we got no heads up. We got no information.
Thousands of residents in San Jose lost power over the weekend as early as Friday night. This map shows that thousands more are still affected.
Look, most voters in California are Democrats. This is not in any sense a partisan point. California will vote for Kamala Harris in November. There's no question about that. It's a question of helping actual people, not just repeating mindless platitudes, telling us the same two stories about police brutality. Nobody defends police brutality. Nobody's in favor of it. But if you keep talking about the same two stories, it gives us the sense that you're intentionally ignoring what's actually happening, which is the consistent lowering of the standard of living for actual Americans, millions of them. So you shouldn't be surprised if you continue to ignore things people actually care about, that people may not be that excited about your candidacy, despite how they feel about the guy you're running against. And in the case of Kamala.